What's up, y'all? We are back, acquire and operate. For the love of the game, of course, we are building a portfolio of micro SaaS companies and we're doing it in public. I'm back with you. I'm riding Dolo today for a session on musings. And the topic du jour is my personal tech stack. So before we jump in, a few kind of definitions. So what is a personal tech stack? So most of you are pretty familiar with tech stack as a way to define kind of the architecture of a software product. So this is for the back end, this is the front end, this is how we approach APIs. It's kind of the Lego blocks that assemble to deliver a SaaS application. In a more businessy context, you have kind of an operational tech stack, which is usually owned by RevOps. And this is composed of how do we manage our customers? We have this CRM. We can send marketing campaigns through it. Cool. How do we manage our books? We've got this accounting tool. How do we manage our employees? We have this HR tech tool. Those are kind of the three pillars. And then, of course, there's millions of extensions and things like that. So personal tech stack is your tooling. I mean, we're all on kind of the relentless hunt for personal productivity and kind of optimal performance. So a personal tech stack is kind of the Lego blocks that you assemble that you utilize on a daily basis. So think digital tools, apps, platforms, and it covers the spectrum of note-taking, communication platforms, task management, calendaring, all that fun stuff. And obviously the goal is, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems, is to establish a thoughtful tech stack that kind of covers the spectrum of the stuff you do on the day-to-day so that you can be the best performer possible and as productive as you possibly can be. So I'll spare kind of the rest. I mean, I think the key components, we'll go over that. I've organized my tech stack into kind of thoughtful categories. And the benefits obviously are improved personal productivity and efficiency, right? And we want to align tools or actually select tools that can create automation, that can speed us up. We never want to touch the same thing twice. So we want to avoid duplicate information, working with multiple apps, siloed data, stuff like that. We obviously want to avoid having something fall through the cracks or having, some system where a task is spread across everywhere and we're working in all these different areas to figure out even what's on our agenda for the day. And lastly, it enhances knowledge recall and retention. So let's dive in here and I'll go through my personal tech stack. All right. So at the onset, I've kind of organized this into communication and collaboration, design and content creation, knowledge management and productivity, time management and scheduling, digital browsing and research, digital network, content consumption and learning, and then, of course, the most exciting, security and password management. So let's take it from the top, and I'll just add some anecdotal stuff. So under communication and collaboration, inbox management. Gosh, I remember when Superhuman came out, and I was a very early adopter. And I was so used to Gmail and it was so noisy and there's all these colors and there's all this stuff. So the first thing is that Superhuman is just so simple and you can create split inboxes so that only, I guess, the most useful stuff is making it into your important inbox. So you can just ruthlessly kind of file folder or delegate and triage your inbox. And it also fully operates with keyboard strokes. So you're not touching your mouse, you just hands on and you just rip through emails. It's absolutely incredible. So Superhuman might be my favorite recommendation or my favorite component of my personal tech stack. Then into messaging. So I just picked up text and it's from the founder of WordPress, Acquired Text, and it's basically just consolidating messaging across everything. So think iMessage, WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the stuff is pulled into one cohesive interface and you can just bounce through it. So again, it's kind of like the Superhuman of messaging. And it is smooth as can be. There's keyboard shortcuts galore. There's a generative AI component, so you can ask for summaries. It can help you write text, just a huge productivity enhancer. On the meetings front, I use Zoom, but I guess I'm not a big fan of Google Hangouts. And then MeetGeek, which I just started using. I was a Fathom user for a long time. And MeetGeek is, I just don't even take notes during meetings anymore. Like the generative AI note taking is absolutely extraordinary. It summarizes every meeting. It shoots it into your inbox. I've got a folder for all my meeting notes in Superhuman. So I'm like, what did we talk about? I bounce right in, boom, and away I go. Team communication, Slack, pretty basic. And then we get into design and content creation. So for design, Figma, and this is again, nothing earth shattering, but it's just so like the templates, and you can use components, which is kind of a feature in Figma to generate templates. And that has really sped us up across social and just about everything. So Figma can't recommend enough. Newsletter creation, you're reading this on Substack if you are reading it. So no surprises there. into knowledge management and productivity. So personal knowledge management, or PKM. So I used Evernote for many years, and then I moved to Notion, and then I moved to Meme.ai, and I just couldn't really find the thing that worked for me. And then I came across Reflect, which is from the founder of Clearbit, and holy shit, there was a learning curve, and I was like, oh, I'll just migrate all my notes over from Meme, and away we go. And I thought it'd be a couple hour exercise, and it turned into, a day and a half where I had to just kind of rethink about how I capture knowledge, how I organize knowledge. And this really changed my orientation towards the world. So Reflect is very, very slick. And again, as a generative AI search, so it'll summarize stuff. I have my weekly and my daily journal in there now. And so then I can write quick prompts. What's the number one limiting belief from my journal entries the last 2 months that's holding me back? What have been the biggest breakthroughs? So it unlocks some really, really cool shit. Team knowledge management systems, Notion. So Notion is just like, oh, just a wink from the stars, because it's no code, and I can spin up, company wikis. You can just spin up these pages so quickly to organize information, to organize OKRs, to keep the team, aligned, and collaboration is a breeze. Notion is truly, truly a game changer. And it's, kind of the backbone or the spinal cord for all the business, for scaling ventures, for our portfolio companies, just so quick and efficient. Productivity and app launcher. So this one's a little different, but Raycast. So back to, like, once you start to get into the keyboards only, and you're like, if you pick up your mouse, you're losing. Raycast is incredible. Just quick shortcuts. You can bounce around applications. You can access Google Drive. You can just do all kinds of really cool stuff. There's tons of automations as well. So Raycast is very cool, but kind of, it's like the category is productivity. So I didn't really know how to organize that one, but Raycast is super slick. Time management and scheduling. So I've used like the HubSpot calendar link for a long time. Calendly is obviously very efficient. And with Notion Calendar, I guess the thing that bugged me about the calendar links is, you can establish blocks of time, but really it's way more beneficial to just go into your calendar, highlight big chunks of time that suit for this week or next week, and then fire it over. So it basically gives you a little bit more detailed way to digitize the booking and kind of scheduling activities, and to be a little more intentional about the slots that you offer up. We still use HubSpot for our CRM everywhere. So if I care less, I'll just flip over my calendar link. But no, and this used to be Cron Calendar. Notion recently acquired them. So Notion Calendar, very slick. And then we get into digital browsing and research. So I guess on the personal knowledge management, when I moved to Reflect, I was like, whoa, just a huge productivity and performance enhancer. And then when I moved over to Arc browser, it was the same. I mean, all of us have been with Google Chrome or Safari for so long, and the browser has been such an uncontested territory. So Arc browser is so smooth. There was a little bit of a learning curve there, but it's just fast, easy. Again, all keyboard shortcuts everywhere. And then what's really cool is you can set Perplexity as your default browser. So I guess it's it's more an answer engine than a search engine, but Perplexity is very slick. And then Arc also has a mobile app called Arc Search, where you run a search, and then basically these agent GPTs will chain together. Like, you'll run a query, blah, blah, blah. I'm heading to Mexico. What are the coolest places that we should check out? And it'll basically tether together a little mini website that's like the history of Mexico City, the best places to eat, best places to dine, and you can share it. So Arc Search on mobile is really, really sweet. And then for digital network, so social media management, Taplio. This is from the Lemless crew. It's kind of this tribe that's building all this stuff to grow audiences on social. And Taplio is their tool for LinkedIn. So you can schedule posts. It has generative AI to help you craft posts. You can go and you can follow a select list of profiles and engage with them to try and grow your audience. You can look at what's trending and kind of back into your perspective on that stuff and have a better chance of going viral. Just feature galore, and it's built by the people that are building the best audiences nowadays. So Taplio for LinkedIn, very slick, and then Tweet Hunter for X, same wine, different bottle. And then on the content consumption and learning, so I used to be such a paper book human, and I've since moved my journaling over to Reflect. I used to have an iPad with a pen, and there's still something to be said. Like, when you write and you put pen to paper, whether it's digital or ink, I really think that it slows you down, and you are more likely to kind of write that stuff on your brain. But I've recently seen the upside of being able to kind of train an AI on my journal, on my thoughts, and kind of use it as a thought partner to be worth the trade. So I've moved almost all of my journaling, my note taking, my thinking to digital, and the same for reading. So I have everything in Kindle now. And the thing that made me make the move is this app called Readwise, where anytime you highlight something in Kindle, Readwise will serve it up to you over a prolonged period of time. So they have this little widget on my iPhone, and every day I pick up my phone, I'll see some kind of thing that I highlighted. And so it's really good at reinforcing knowledge over time and helping you kind of organize like what were the big takeaways from any book or anything that I've read. So Kindle and Readwise, I think, are a 1-2 combo. I think I would probably stay paper if it wasn't for Readwise, but that's been an absolute game changer. And honestly, just having the Kindle app on your phone, like don't go like just have it there and put it like make it the only app on your first page. And it's like, all right, when I pick up my phone, I want to be the most inclined to stepping into Kindle so that I'm reading something that I'm kind of intentionally consuming. I'm not doom scrolling, whatever. But that's a really powerful 1-2 combo. And then lastly is passwords. We use 1Password. Nothing is worse than sharing passwords. It is absolute misery. Or hey, I don't have the login for this, or man, even within our family, it's like, hey, we need to change our credit card on the Netflix account. Cool. Passwords in 1Password. It's just smooth. You don't realize how much brain damage is associated with just passing around passwords. So quick and dirty today, personal tech stack. I think again, like, there's so much tooling available and there's so much integration available between tooling that I think this is one of the most high leverage activities any of us can do, is to be thoughtful about our tech stack. ChatGPT is a great partner for this. Hey, what are the categories of a tech stack? Here's what I'm using. What do you see as the gaps? What are some tools that I should consider using? And try to treat yourself like a system, right? So like, this is my business day-to-day operating system across both business and professional. And that's, a great way to unlock way better performance, way better productivity. So I'll leave it at that. For the love of the game. Much love, y'all. I'll see you next week.